This could be the injury that defines the future of the Denver Broncos or sparks a legendary comeback story for our franchise. The man at the center of this storm is Bo Nix. After that devastating ankle injury stole our Super Bowl dreams, the stakes have never been higher for the young quarterback. We are looking at a recovery that will either save his career or leave us wondering what if. Bo Nix is currently the primary focus for everyone inside the Broncos facility, and legend Peyton Manning just confirmed what we all feared and hoped for at the same time. Manning spoke at the Night of Champions event, and his words carried the weight of a man who knows exactly what it takes to win in this city. He revealed that while the ankle injury in the AFC Championship game was a total heartbreak, it has transformed the young quarterback into a different kind of competitor. Manning has seen the fire in his eyes and believes this setback will fuel a massive rebound in 2026. If this really happens, everything changes for us, so subscribe now so you do not miss the next update. Sheriff noted that Sean Payton and George Paton have been carefully building a roster of unselfish players who look in the mirror and demand better of themselves. This is not just about talent anymore. It is about the character required to bounce back from the brink of glory. Manning admitted he would rather have his heart ripped out in a championship game than finish a mediocre season, because that pain means you are knocking on the door of greatness. He knows the locker room is hurting, but he also knows that the star is the type of guy who wants to answer the bell for his teammates. Context here is critical because the Broncos are also navigating a draft without a first-round pick after the Jalen Waddle trade. That move was a nitro shot for the offense, but it leaves the front office with very little margin for error. We are seeing a team that is trying to stay aggressive while their franchise leader recovers from a physical and emotional blow. Manning is confident because he sees the blueprint being followed to the letter. This news tells us that the recovery is about more than just a bone healing. It is about a mental shift that could make the Broncos more dangerous than they ever were before. We have to understand that when a legend like Manning speaks, the league listens, because he understands the quarterback position better than anyone else on the planet. He sees the potential for a historical comeback that could define this era of Broncos football for our loyal fans today. We have seen the flashes of greatness from our young leader, but this current situation is exactly why the front office is sweating right now. The gap between his massive potential and the reality of a reconstructed ankle is where the tension lies for this franchise. Sean Payton is known for his offensive genius and his ability to mold quarterbacks, but even he cannot coach away the lingering doubt that comes with a major injury. The pressure on the signal caller is immense because he is not just recovering for himself, but for a city that felt a Super Bowl berth was stolen away. We saw how the offense hummed when he was healthy, and we saw how it crumbled the moment he went down against the Patriots. That contrast is haunting the coaching staff as they prepare for the upcoming season. They are looking at a player who is famously unselfish and competitive, but sometimes that drive can lead to rushing a recovery, which often results in further disaster. The Hall of Fame endorsement from Manning adds another layer of expectation that few young players could handle. He is being compared to the greatest to ever do it, and that kind of spotlight can either forge a diamond or crush a player under the weight of it all. Sean Payton is trying to manage the situation by surrounding him with elite talent like Jalen Waddle, but the reality is that the entire season rests on one joint in his lower leg. If the stability is not there, then the explosive plays and the quick decision-making that made him special will vanish. We are watching a high-stakes gamble play out in real time where the protagonist has to prove he can regain his elite form. The team is betting the house on his ability to return hungrier and stronger, but history is filled with players who were never the same after their hearts were ripped out on the big stage. This is the ultimate test of championship DNA, and fans are left holding their breath until he takes that first hit. It is the truth. This situation is very simple because it determines if the Broncos win more games or fall back into a cycle of failure. When your best player is hurt, it creates a ripple effect that touches every person in the organization. If the quarterback returns at full strength, then the trade for Jalen Waddle looks like a masterpiece and the team becomes a top contender in the league. But if he struggles, then those lost draft picks and the aggressive moves will feel like a waste of time and money. This news matters right now because it tells us the team is doubling down on their current path instead of looking for a backup plan. They are trusting that the hunger Manning mentioned is enough to overcome the physical limitations of a healing injury. For the fans, this means the difference between a deep playoff run and another year of watching the Super Bowl from the couch. We are talking about the soul of the team and their ability to compete with the best in the AFC. Every game next season will be a direct reflection of how well this recovery goes. If he can move around the pocket and make the throws we saw last year, then the Broncos will be a force to be reckoned with. If he is slow or hesitant, then the offense will stall, and the defense will be left on the field for too long. This is not about complex salary cap numbers or roster flexibility. It is about the win and loss column. It is about whether or not we can finally beat the elite teams when the game is on the line. The stakes are as high as they can get because the window for winning a championship is usually very short. We have a coaching staff that is ready to win now and a veteran legend giving his seal of approval. Everything is lined up for success, but it all hinges on one man being healthy enough to lead the charge. This news is the green light for optimism, but it comes with a heavy dose of reality about how success can be. Trust us now. Let us look at the two paths this could take because the contrast is absolutely massive for our future. In the best-case scenario, the injury acts as a catalyst that turns a talented young player into an unstoppable force. We see him return to the field with more focus and more determination than ever before. He connects with his new weapons and the offense becomes the highest scoring unit in the division. In this world, the Broncos finally climb back to the top, and we look back at this injury as the moment the team found its true identity. The fans are happy and the stadium is loud and the Super Bowl drought finally ends. It would be a story for the ages that validates every move the front office has made. But we have to talk about the worst-case scenario, because that is where the real tension lies. If the recovery stalls or if he loses his confidence after the hit he took, then everything falls apart. A quarterback who is afraid of the pass rush or unable to move is a liability that can sink an entire season. We could see a year of frustration where the team loses close games and the fans start to lose patience with the process. If this fails, the front office will be forced to make desperate moves that could set the franchise back for years. The emotional toll of another losing season would be devastating for a fan base that has already waited so long for a winner. It is a razor-thin line between glory and disaster. Manning says the hunger is there, but hunger alone does not heal bones and ligaments. We are all waiting to see which version of the team shows up in the fall. The drama is building every day as we get closer to the season, and the uncertainty is enough to keep any fan awake at night. This is the ultimate test of the culture Sean Payton has built. If it works, we are witnessing the start of a dynasty. To summarize the situation, the Denver Broncos are standing at a major crossroads with their franchise quarterback. Peyton Manning has given us a reason to hope by highlighting the incredible character and hunger of Bo Nix, but the physical reality of the injury remains the biggest question mark in NFL. We are seeing a team that has pushed all its chips to the middle of the table by trading for stars and trusting in a coach like Sean Payton to lead the way. The main dilemma is whether a player can truly be better after such a devastating setback or if we are just witnessing the beginning of the end. Be honest, would you trust a young player to lead your team after his heart was ripped out like that? This is the moment where we find out if this roster truly has the championship DNA required to reach the summit. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you stay informed on every update. Leave a comment below and tell me if you believe hunger will be enough. This is not just a recovery, it is a fight for the soul of victory.